So somebody sent me an email that we were likely to see bread at $10 a loaf, which is extremely disturbing, but hugely realistic. A high possibility that could actually happen based on inflation. And actually, the Fed and Jerome Powell is supposed to release the latest interest rate adjustment today, and we're expecting to see it up another 75 basis points. So things are going to get more expensive. It's going to be more expensive to borrow money while inflation continues to rise, and maybe at some point we'll see a decline in inflation. But what's more important than that is how much things and basic necessities are going to cost you despite inflation, despite higher interest rates, costing you more when you swipe that credit card. Unless you're spending cash. If you're spending cash, if you still got, your stimulus check money, Mitch McConnell thinks everybody's sitting on a boatload of cash from stimulus checks, then you're fine. But if you're swiping that card, it costs you more when interest rates go up. But think about it this way. How much are they going up? 10%? According to CPI inflation reports, 9% from the last month. But realistically, let's just say they go up 30%. And that's pretty much what's happening. I was watching Patrick Humphrey yesterday, and he had mentioned that there were reports of other countries and Canada most recently cutting fertilizer usage by 30%, requesting farmers cut fertilizer usage by 30%. So the first thing, and I think he pointed out, was that it's going to reduce the amount of food available by 30% at the very least, and reduce the amount of food our food has available. So, but also for the farmer, for the business, that 30% reduction is going to it's going to come out of their pocket, their bottom line, their revenues. He had a figure, it was very high, based on, just 1,000 acres of farming, which across America we have, however many millions of acres of farming. So you got to think, if what Canada is imposing were to make its way to America, that would be a huge blow. Now, for the food component, we do waste a lot of food as Americans, as a country. We waste a lot of food. So I think that the 30% reduction in food could possibly be mitigated. But from a business position, that 30% pay cut is almost the same as seeing prices for basic necessities like loaves of bread going up 30%, costing you $10 a loaf of bread, which is unbelievable, but realistically possible. Right now, I guess I should remove the word unbelievable from my vocabulary based on everything that we have seen happening for the past 3 years. But what is even more shocking is that Alaska Prepper is apparently banned from YouTube for the next 7 days. Apparently, he's been posting some content that the platform didn't agree with, and he got a strike. And with your first strike, you're temporarily prevented from posting, and I don't even know if you can comment for a week. Well, with that being said, I don't know Alaska Prepper's financial situation. I'm not trying to pry, but I am just going to state the obvious that if you are a content creator and YouTube is a source of your income, which, we talk about side hustles and passive income, this could be an additional stream for the Alaska Prepper. I don't know. But if you were to lose your income, your pay, lose a week of work, not get any hours if you're hourly for a week, how bad would that hurt you? And hopefully the Alaska Prepper is prepared for that. It's very unfortunate that this has happened to him, but hopefully he's prepared. Hopefully you guys are prepared if you were to face some unfortunate event out of your control that would prevent you from having the ability to earn your pretty much expected income for a week or more. The crazy thing about YouTube strikes is, 3 strikes, you're out. But you can get a strike even though you're on strike and you haven't posted anything. If by some chance the algorithm or a human review comes through and finds something else wrong on one of his videos anywhere, he could get a second strike. And that would put him out for, I believe, 30 days. 30 to 90 days. I'm not sure which one it is. It's 30 to 90 days. So can you imagine losing, and I'm not saying that this is his primary source of income, but can you imagine if it were losing your primary source of income for a week to 3 months? How bad that could potentially hurt you and your family? Are you prepared for that? Do you have a backup plan? Do you have savings? Do you have a additional source of income? Do you have anything to fall back on? Because this is part of what it's all about. It's not just, a reduction in food that we're seeing happening based on what Patrick Humphreys has shared about Canada imposing a 30% reduction in fertilizer use. We're also seeing in the western half of the United States water and drought issues, which ultimately will lead to less irrigation, less crops, less farming as a result. And that will also, granted the food is a problem, but for the businesses involved, the business component involved in farming, that's going to be a reduction in their income. It's going to be a reduction to their revenue. It could possibly put them out of business, because, it takes money to run a farm, like plain and simple. So, if you can't use the fertilizer and you can't use the water and you're in the business of using fertilizer and water as your primary cost of goods, your primary inputs, what are you going to do? So that's my question for you. What are you going to do? What is your backup plan? Do you have money saved up? Or do you think money is worthless and our monetary system is going to fail? Cash is worthless. You should just resort to bartering weapons and tools and corn and moving on to a digital currency, or perhaps this currency that Russia and China are talking about implementing as just a reserve currency, not even a primary currency. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe I got it all wrong, but maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm right. Despite what some people may say in the comments about, I'm jobless and just traveling the country having fun, which I guess I don't really know how that would be possible. But also, yeah, I am jobless. If you guys watched one of my previous videos, I had mentioned the cash flow quadrant, and there are 4 squares to the cash flow quadrant. If you want to know more about this, click the link in the description. But the 4 squares comprise of employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. Well, employee and self-employed are on the left side of the cash flow quadrant. Those are the ones who work day in and day out. They rely and require someone to pay them for what they're doing, and their time is directly translated into money. That's how you stay broke. That's how you live paycheck to paycheck. That's how you can't afford. That's how you don't have money. Speaking of which, someone asked me, how do you prepare with no money? And you can barely keep a roof over your head. Well, I can't answer that question until you tell me what you mean by no money. And a further follow-up question to that would be, how much does this roof over your head cost? Because we have foundational issues at hand if no money and expensive cost of living are your 2 primary concerns, but you're asking how to prep. That means you haven't prepped. You haven't prepped financially, plain and simple, period. If you disagree with me, I don't care. You haven't prepped financially. End the story. Now, the right side of the cash flow quadrant is business owner and investor. As a business owner, you're in a great position. On the right-hand side, business owner, investor, that's where millionaires are made. That's where money is made. That's where passive income is made. That's where a lifestyle that allows you the freedom and flexibility to travel and do whatever you want, whenever you want, exists. Even on the left side, as self-employed, you still have a job. You may own the business, but you still have a job. On the right-hand side, a business owner, I don't have a job. I don't have a job per se. My job is to make sure everyone else is doing their job. And that's only going to take me a few minutes or hours out of my day. As an investor, my only job then is to make sure my money is working to make me more money. So if you want to say I don't have a job, call me jobless, and basically hate on me from the comment section, which no one will ever see anyway because this was a blocked comment. I got filters in place. So be it. is what it is. But if you're not hating and you want to learn more, click the link in the description. Let's have a talk.